their attempt to create realness, Mattel inadvertently crafted a parody. It still felt very forced. And even them using certain vernacular, I feel like that was unnecessary. You can connect to an urban audience without doing that. The dolls look pretty cool. I like how they were utilizing graffiti because I love graffiti. I love how all of that looks. So I like how they packaged it. It was very much in depth doing the boombox, but it just did not connect. And I think why it didn't connect, it wasn't the dolls themselves, it was the marketing put in place for it. If they would have let the dolls kind of speak for themselves, I think that would have been a lot cooler.
What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor? What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor?
My flavor is always me, cause flavor's your individuality.
You're all about flavor.
You know it.
What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor?
Now change your flavor to fit your mood. Your flavor is always true.
What's your flavor? Tell me what's
You can collect all 6 of the Flavas crew in street or sport. Dolls do not move on their own. Each doll sold separately.
You may know Barbie, but do you know Barbie with box braids? If you're anything like me, you had no idea that these things existed until now or very recently.
Christ's love isn't like everybody else's love. It's not like the world's love. The world's love loves you when you do things right or when you do things with them. But as soon as you make a mistake, they take that love away. But what I've experienced with the love of Christ is that it loves first. It loves through wrongdoing. It loves when you shouldn't be loved anymore. It's unconditional. And that's the love that I believe is going to change the world and has changed me.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Micaiah, and I'm back, and I'm black, and I'm back, and I'm black, and I'm back, and I'm black.
Sasha here. Excuse me? Supermodels do not fly business class. Now, I'm not going to demand a private jet, but I think Jag could at least spring for first class.
And today I am bringing you all another video diving into a doll line that Mattel had that I learned about more recently, and I thought it would be interesting to bring to the forefront. And it was also recommended by a fellow subscriber, a supporter by the name of Diamonds1021. So I appreciate you for recommending this video. I learned something new. I was diving into this whole new world, and it was really interesting to see. So I appreciate you for always supporting, and I thank you so much for it. And also too, I thank you for leaving the recommendation about this. And if you all have anything that you would like me to cover, if I see it fit on the channel, then I'll most definitely dive into it. But before we dive into my thoughts and perspectives, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me. And if you're new, hey, and if you're a returner, I really, truly appreciate the love. I thank you all for taking the chance to click on this video. It does not go unnoticed. I'm very appreciative to even have this channel. I'm thankful to connect with you all, so I really do appreciate it. And if you all get the chance, please check out my social media platforms down within the description box, where I display my passion for fashion. And for all who are new, you should know I do an array of topics. I am extremely diverse. I do topics regarding nerdy topics, nostalgic topics such as this, and more conscious topics with more depth. And I dibble and dabble within vlogs. So if you're interested in any of those realms, then you'll most definitely love it over here. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
What's your flavor? Won't you tell me what's your flavor? Flavor is me, it's individuality. Flaunt it, move it, change it. Show it. I got slam and street gear, but I can get a little sport flavor too. You gotta go home. My flavor's always new, always true. My crew's got more flavors than you can count. Whip down. How many flavors you got? Yeah. What's your flavor? Won't you tell me what's your flavor? What's your flavor?
Move over, Barbie. There are some new dolls on the market that are not your typical children's toys.
I like the way their clothes are. It's like very ghetto.
They have cool necklaces.
The Flavor dolls are made by Mattel, the same company that makes Barbie. They are the second hip-hop doll to hit the market.
We're partying tonight. I'm gonna make some noise.
The Brats were the first dolls to corner the market on hip-hop. These trendy dolls sport the latest fashions, shiny jewelry, hair extensions, and even some cool hats. The flavor for these Flavor dolls are thuggish. They're wearing earrings, saggy pants, and the latest sneakers. Dominic Brown designed a new line of dolls.
I'm a big hip-hop fan myself, and basically I wanted to see Mattel basically embrace hip-hop culture and urban lifestyle.
Some people say they love the Flavas dolls, but others say the dolls can be a little degrading to minorities.
Well, you can definitely see Flavas as something that's kind of, stereotypical, that's kind of demeaning in a way. I think there are certain things that initially when I saw in the news that were, a little questionable, that raised a couple eyebrows, like, okay, why are the jeans so low? Okay, like you see in the graffiti on the thing, and you get that sense that it's not truly authentic.
Stereotypical or not, Brown stands by his creations.
We can't please everybody, however, I feel that these dolls is a direct reflection of kids nowadays and fashion trends and how they dress.
And some parents agree.
They're like diva girls, they're down to earth, and my daughters love them. They saw them on TV and they like them. They want to get all of them.
And the way these dolls are flying off the shelves, kids must have a taste for these flavors.
Mattel's Flavas doll collection stands as one of the most audacious and contentious ventures in the realm of the early 2000s pop culture, embodying hip-hop aesthetics and challenging representation within the toy industry. By the dawn of the 2000s, hip-hop transcended mere music. It became a worldwide phenomenon. Streetwear, slang, and black culture had entered the mainstream. Bratz dolls were riding this wave, diverse, bold, and unapologetically fashionable. Barbie, who once reigned supreme in the toy aisle, suddenly appeared outdated. In response, Mattel introduced Flavas, aiming to connect with the new generation that identified more with hip-hop than with high heels. The Flavas were a brief series of fashion dolls introduced by Mattel in 2003. They aimed to rival Bratz, along with their creation of My Scene, whose tremendous success had threatened Barbie's long-standing supremacy. However, rather than imitating Bratz's glamorous girls with the passion for fashion theme, Mattel sought to market Flavas as more edgy, urban, and influenced by street culture. Nonetheless, although the line sought to embody hip-hop and street culture, it gained notoriety for being tone-deaf, culturally perplexing, and receiving negative feedback, ultimately leading to its discontinuation after less than a year. Mattel promoted Flavas as being quote-unquote real, quote-unquote authentic, and quote-unquote urban, aiming to connect with tweens and teens who were drawn to hip-hop culture, MTV, and street fashion during the early 2000s. Every doll possessed a unique personality that reflected archetypes found in music videos, hip-hop culture, and streetwear fashion. Tika, fashionable and confident, she was considered the trendsetter. Happy D, the fun-loving dancer. Kiani Brown, artsy and cool, often associated with music and individuality. P. Bo, outgoing and flashy into cars and nightlife. Trey, the romantic and suave one. Liam, the skater/creative. They were promoted as the quote-unquote crew, a blend of characters embodying dance, music, art, and urban culture. They came in two waves of releases, Series 1 and 2, before the line was canceled. Flavas dolls were instantly distinguishable from Barbie. They possessed larger heads, smaller eyes, and more stylized facial features, which corresponded with the exaggerated artistic styles found in hip-hop and graffiti culture. The dolls wore loose-fitting jeans, crop tops, padded jackets, basketball jerseys, athletic tracksuits, Timberland-style footwear, chains, and bucket hats. Their packaging featured graffiti-style fonts, urban backgrounds, and even boxes designed like boom boxes. Mattel advertised them as featuring a quote-unquote more realistic body proportions, a jab at Barbie's unrealistically slender physique. This is the point at which matters become intricate. Mattel's promotional strategies rely significantly on hip-hop, vernacular, and stereotypes. Advertisements incorporated terms such as quote-unquote yo, dog, and faux shizzle. Commercials showcase breakdancing, graffiti backgrounds, and hip-hop rhymes, executed predominantly by white and light-skinned models, employing exaggerated AAVE, African American vernacular English. Commercials had breakdancers and graffiti, but little understanding of the culture they were imitating. Packaging descriptions aimed to convey a quote-unquote street vibe, yet frequently appeared insincere. This tone resulted in a disconnection. Although the dolls were intended to honor diversity and street culture, they ultimately faced criticism for cultural appropriation and a superficial approach to a quote-unquote urban marketing. And from my standpoint, it seemed like it was a cash grab in a way. I see what they were trying to do, but it seemed like more so of let's just compete with brats and let's do something that's popular right now, such as hip hop. But I thought it was just very tone deaf within the execution. But I know that they did involve people who had their hands in hip hop, but it still just didn't connect. Mattel evidently aimed to highlight inclusivity. The Flavas represented a variety of ethnicities, showcasing diverse skin tones, hair textures, and cultural backgrounds. In theory, this was a progressive step, particularly when contrast with the minimal diversity that Barbie had exhibited throughout much of her history. However, the execution appeared to resemble a caricature rather than a celebration. Their quote-unquote urban aesthetic was perceived as a costume rather than a representation of culture. The marketing language appeared to be a corporate imitation of Black and hip-hop youth slang. Critics and parents observed that the dolls failed to embody genuine youth culture, instead reflecting a corporate fantasy of what quote-unquote cool urban children resembled. Toy reviewers and parents described the dolls as a quote-unquote cringeworthy and quote-unquote corporate pandering. Mattel's performance was subpar. By the year of 2004, shelves were being emptied of unsold stock. Articles ridiculed the dolls as Mattel's quote-unquote effort to sound trendy. A headline from the Washington Post explicitly stated, "Barbie goes urban and disappoints." The target audience did not engage. Teenagers perceived them as overly ambitious. Younger children failed to comprehend them. Flavas line was officially terminated within a year. Their failure turned into a case study on marketing errors. Mattel attempted to leverage the popularity of Bratz without comprehending the reason behind Bratz's appeal, which included an authentic self-expression, edginess, and distinct personality. The company misinterpreted hip-hop culture as merely fashion and slang, overlooking its deeper significance as a lifestyle and identity. Instead of promoting individuality, the dolls seemed to embody a performance of quote-unquote coolness. Despite their shortcomings, the Flavas are intriguing as they symbolize a corporate effort to connect with Black and urban aesthetics during a period when hip-hop was influencing global youth culture, and they still are, but this was a period when it was on the rise. Currently, collectors and cultural critiques are re-examining the dolls as early instances of mainstream brands attempting and failing to genuinely diversify. Items reflecting the cultural appropriation trends in marketing from the early 2000s. A reminder of the disparity between representation and genuine storytelling. Ironically, Flavas aim to depict multi-ethnic, fashionable, and edgy youth, a concept that would later be executed far more effectively in collections such as Bratz, Monster High, and Barbie's Fashionistas' My Scene, which celebrated individuality without the imposed quote-unquote urban branding. The Flavas represented Mattel's audacious yet ill-conceived attempt to blend Barbie with hip-hop culture. They aimed to embody diversity, style, and attitude, yet ultimately showcase corporate bewilderment and stereotyping. Nevertheless, they serve as a time capsule of the early 2000s, a period when brands grappled with the concepts of authenticity, identity, and true essence of being quote-unquote cool. Please bear with me, y'all, because my neck and my back most definitely hurt, but we're getting through this. I understand what Mattel was trying to do. For me, trying to see it on both ends, I understand what they were trying to do, but it just didn't connect with the audience, and it felt unauthentic. And even after doing my research, they did bring people in that were tapped into the hip-hop scene, but it just still felt forced. It wasn't something that felt authentic. It felt like they were trying to act like something rather than embodying something as the Bratz did. And I understand what they were trying to do. There's a specific doll that I think looked fabulous. I love her complexion. I'll put it on the screen. She ate down, okay? The way they designed her was really cute, actually. I like her design personally. That would be my favorite if I was to purchase one of these dolls, because I see what Mattel was trying to do. I really do, y'all. Because I'm one person that likes to evaluate both sides. And I really do see what they were trying to do, but it just didn't connect. I don't know how to describe it. It just really did not connect. The puzzle was not piecing together. And listen, I see why they were doing this, because of the rise of hip-hop. Like, especially in the early 2000s, hip-hop was taking all over MTV. It was taking over all these different realms. BET was on the rise, you know, like 106 in Park, just doing a bunch of stuff. I understand what they were trying to do, but I think it would have been a lot cooler if they would have collabed with artists during this time. I think if they would have collabed with, I'm trying to think of some popular artists that they could have collabed with, like Aaliyah at the time. Wait, I don't know if this was after her passing, so maybe not her. But like, if they would have collabed with Destiny's Child and did a Destiny's Child line, like, I think it would have been cooler if they would have connected with people within the hip hop R&B space, and it would have felt a lot more authentic. Connecting with Lil' Kim, connecting with Missy Elliott, all these different creatives, I think it would have hit and done a lot better, as opposed to just trying to stand on its own and duplicate these people. Whereas if they would have did lines with them and intertwined it, I think it would have been really cool. Like bringing in the Spice Girls and kind of taking some of their little spices of how they had different girls that came together and made one group. I feel like if they would have did it like that, I think it would have been a lot better. So in their attempt to create realness, Mattel inadvertently crafted a parody. It didn't hit. It didn't connect. It was a corporate version of like urban packaged within dolls. So you can tell, like, even though I see that they said they had hip-hop influences, I don't even know if they took all of what those hip-hop influences or hip-hop enthusiasts said, because it still didn't connect. It still felt very forced. And even them using certain vernacular, I feel like that was unnecessary. You can connect to an urban audience without doing that. So it was just a lot of that stuff that, for me, is why they missed it. Because I think on exterior, the dolls look pretty cool. I like how they were utilizing graffiti, because I love graffiti, y'all. I don't know if I've ever said that, but I love graffiti. And I love how all of that looks. So I like how they packaged it. It was very much in depth doing the boombox, but it just did not connect. And I think why it didn't connect, it wasn't the dolls themselves. It was the marketing put in place for it. So them using all this extra vernacular and forcing this, whereas if they would have let the dolls kind of speak for themselves and maybe just had like someone doing graffiti, and it really was people who looked like all the different dolls, and they had those people recreate like a live version of the dolls, I think that would have been a lot cooler. And true representation goes way beyond skin color, goes way beyond difference in fashion. It encompasses genuine respect for the culture or for the thing. So I understand what they were trying to do of uplifting hip hop, but it could have just been a lot different. Like, have you all ever seen like Def Jam Vendetta or things of that such? That's my favorite game. I'm probably gonna do, I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on it because it was a little violent. You know, I don't really dive into that kind of stuff anymore, but that was my favorite game growing up as a child. I know it's very strange, but I feel like they played on it all in a lot better way. Like a lot of games did better. Even GTA did better in this, even though there was some like urban influence in a lot of them. It just still came off better to the audience. So I think if they would have did better with the marketing, this could have hit and connected a lot better. So I maybe am sitting on the side of an unpopular opinion. I think if Mattel was to redo this again, I think they low-key should, right? Low-key. But if they did this, they need to properly execute it this time. Really execute it properly. Not force it, not make it overly extra. If they were able to do this a lot better, maybe even creating a TV show out of this, but really not making it so forced with the vernacular and the slang, like not being so forced with everything, I think this could connect very well if they have a full-on rebrand with it. Because I think the dolls themselves didn't look bad. I know people didn't like Barbie being in the box braids or whatever, but she kind of gave Christina Aguilera to me at the time. So maybe if she would have had a look more like Christina Aguilera, that would have hit. But that's what I'm saying. Like bringing back that early 2000s Y2K vibe to the dolls, I think will connect and also to maybe creating a TV show as the Brats did, or creating a webisode as My Scene did. I think it would connect a lot better if they really regroup, really go back to the drawing board, because it had potential. It just was not executed properly, especially when it comes to the marketing. So I thank you all for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Please leave your thoughts and perspectives on the matter. I'm open to hearing all of your perspectives, all of your thoughts, but please let's make sure that we're respectful down within the comment section. I want you all to remember that you are loved by the God who created the universe. He made you for such a special purpose. He made you unique. He made you wonderfully. There's no mistake about you. So I thank you all so much once again for sharing a special moment with me, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Stay blessed, everyone.